Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. In this one I'm going to be showing you how I used some of the new frames and figures, transparencies and use them straight into my journal page. So I'm creating a page in the large craft journal, and on this page I didn't go in with any clear gesso first. Sometimes it's fun to just see how things react differently when there's no gesso on the page. So that stripe of colour across the page is orchid, and here I'm using the floor pattern stencil with some carnation through my blending tool just over the top of that stripe of orchid that's going through my page. So I'm going to be doing a page where I am trying to leave some open space. Can't really call it white space because it isn't white, it's craft, isn't it? But open space on my page. As you know, this isn't something that I find easy. I do like to fill my pages and often get carried away, and you'll see that does happen a little bit on this one, but mostly successful. That was just some magenta gloss spray where I'm just adding some splatters too onto my page. And here is one of the sheets from the Frames and Figures set one. These great big circle frames which are fabulous. They're quite striking. So I decided I was going to use those on my page. So I'm just carefully cutting out the ones that I want to use, and I'm just cutting that one in half just so that I can use it at either edge of the page. I'm going to have one in the middle too. These transparencies are a lovely thickness to work with. They're not at all flimsy. The only thing I would say is they do buckle a little bit if they get too warm, so they're not the best to use a heat tool with. So I decided I was going to put some collage paper underneath the transparency just to add a bit of interest to the centre of those. And I'm just sticking this in place using some matte medium. And I've chosen the piece of collage paper from the Flying Things collage paper set, the new one, and it's the one that's got the kind of butterflies on it. So on this page I'd already decided I wanted to use butterflies, and I was going to use one of Dina's previous sets of stamps. It's the one with the butterflies on it. I can't remember what it's called. It might be I don't know. I'll look it up and find out and leave a link in the description box below. So I've stuck those down. I haven't really applied any heat at this point. This is black gloss spray. I just wanted to add some splatters. So that was to kind of work with the black of those frames so that they kind of sat a bit easier on the page, and just to give another bit of that dark colour on the page too. So here I'm also going in with some dots as well, just to blend some of those splatters in a little bit more. And I'm using a Posca pen to do this. Here I'm going in with some ancient gloss spray, and I'm using one of Dina's new brushes. These brushes are great for, they're brilliant for holding quite a lot of liquid, so dipping them into the gloss sprays is great. You can do some really good drips with them too. And I also used one of Dina's brushes for that stripe of colour across the centre of the page. That was one of her new brushes too. So this is an older stamp set that I'm using here with the butterflies. I'm stamping it onto some cardstock, using black archival ink, and then I'm going to cut them out, fussy cut them out really carefully, and I'm going to use some scribble sticks to apply some colour to these images. So here I'm using Ruby. I'm just applying quite a lot of pigment. I'm pressing quite hard. I have recently sharpened all of my scribble sticks and I've found them much easier to use. This is fuchsia, and then right in the centre of my butterfly I'm just going in with some tangerine. So I'm sticking with quite warm colours on this page. That was just the way that it kind of flowed when I was creating. It wasn't really a conscious decision, but it would appear that that's what's happened. Using a water brush here to just blend those colours out, blend them one into another. And then once I'd done that, I did also give these a really good dry before I cut them out. I'm also giving my brush a little clean in between each colour, just so that it tries to retain some of the colours that I'd laid down using the scribble sticks. So that second butterfly I've cut in half, so kind of following the same idea that I did with the frames from the transparency set. And here I'm just using the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher just to staple those shapes into place, and that one in the centre I just use a little bit of double-sided tape to stick that down. Then these are some words that are from the same stamp set as the butterflies, and I'm just stamping those directly onto my page using black archival ink, and my stamp is on an acrylic block as well. So I've just got a bit of text going on my page. So as well as stamping them onto my page, I'm also going to be stamping the words onto some white paper. And this was the point where I decided I needed to bring more white into my page, so came in with a white Posca pen and added some more dots on my page too. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this page using some of Dina's latest release for October 2022, the figures and frames transparency set and the Flying Things collage paper, and the new stencil, the floor tile stencil too. So thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.